This just in, Dark types are immune to prankster boosted moves. Wait, what? This is crazy. With less than 24 hours until Pokemon Sun and Moon is officially launched, we're still getting new information about the game. Now, this is coming off of all the hacking and data mining and homebrew and crazy people that have been illegally playing the game for over a week now. But it's just showing that, like, all the information isn't fully being data mined, that the people that have access to these resources, they don't really know what to look, that whatever doesn't interest them, you're not really going to see. And we can kind of see this with some of, like, the movesets and compilations and buffs and nerfs, that not everything is on these lists, and some of it has been reported inaccurately, but also at the same time, we are getting new stuff all the time. Like the Pixelate, Aerialate, all these abilities have been nerfed from 1.3 times power to 1.2 times power on the boost into stab or whatever else is going to be happening right there. So a little bit of a power drop right there, and that still took a few days to discover. So this is where it's going to get, like, absolutely crazy to think about what's going to happen when the legitimate people, the news sources, the people that do this, I'm thinking like Cerebi, Joe Merrick, the guys that actually get in there and figure out everything about the game in a remarkably short amount of time. This is like, I can't wait to see everything that will start to come up, and that's why I'm really excited to do more guides and videos on that. You know, changes to all typings, changes to all moves and stuff, just have very specific videos as to what's been going on, because yeah, this was like all of a sudden people were like, wait, my prankster didn't work on this dark type, let's go explore that. And then there was like this crazy video that I can't find anymore because I got buried in my Twitter feed. It was like 4 Murkrows, 2 of them didn't have prankster and 2 of them did, and then you could see that prankster gets blocked by dark type Pokemon. Now this is an insane nerf to prankster. That we saw that prankster was absolute madness in the 6th generation because there were so many Pokemon that got access to it, and then Sableye with Mega Sableye into prankster and all kinds of shenanigans. Like mostly Meowstic, Klefki, Whimsicott, these Pokemon gained a lot of momentum, but just kind of showing that, yeah, now this is a nerf to all of these Pokemon right here, all those strategies in the 7th generation. So Bayonet, actually Mega Bayonet, getting a buff because Mega Pokemon now apply like whatever speed is going on with their Megas. So Mega Bayonet evolves, gains Prankster on that same turn now, but against Dark type Pokemon, not going to be able to do as much. And Illumise is another Pokemon, it gets Charm, but now it doesn't affect Dark type Pokemon, so it got a really big buff to, I believe it's hit point, or it was just like the defensive stats or something, like plus 10 to special defense, plus 20 to its defense or something. So these Pokemon getting buffs here and there, but also at the same time getting knocked down now that Prankster is nerfed. Liepard was really interesting, and even then, like, Swagger got nerfed, that we can see right here, that the Swagger goes down from 90% accuracy to 85% accuracy, and then Confusion being nerfed, now the chance to hit yourself in Confusion is 1-3, as opposed to 1-2. So all these Prankster strategies, I'll admit they were broken. Like, you just, also, Thunder Wave being nerfed in general, just now that has a 90% accuracy. Yeah, Swag play, just paralysis. Your opponent doesn't get a chance to do anything. Alright, hit Swagger, they hit themselves in Confusion, Thunder Wave. Now, in 2 turns under that Prankster, you've been able to shut down every Pokemon to having a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting a successful move off, and if not, then you just keep pounding them down to the ground, and since they're paralyzed, now you outspeed them into Foul Play, and Swag Play was pretty annoying like that. So it shows that Game Freak, they weren't okay with how big that blew up, and now against Dark type Pokemon, these strategies are severely nerfed, but it does make sense. Like, we've been seeing a lot more changes right now with other typings and how they interact. You know, Fire-type Pokemon not being able to get burned, Electric-type Pokemon not being able to get paralyzed, Dark-type Pokemon not being able to get taunted. So it kind of makes sense with the status. I would have liked to see something with Confusion and Ghosts, or maybe just another, like, addition to some of the other things that are going on right there. Maybe Fairy-type Pokemon can't get infatuated, even though Fairy-type Pokemon are already strong enough as it is. It's just kind of showing these are some crazy things right here. But we also have some more news and stuff going on. I wanted to go and throw down an update as to what is going on with the ban hammer. So Kotaku did pick up the story, and they posted pictures because where the story broke was on 4chan, because rage sadness right here. What is Nintendo thinking? I am banned. I can't access anything, not even the eShop. This is where the reports start coming in of like, all right, you're Wi-Fi banned, but it's console Wi-Fi banned if you're using illegal games. Like, I don't like, you're homebrewing, and then you're also modifying your DS to keep it under the most recent update and stuff, because you have to hard mod if it's a newly updated DS, or you've had to like not update your DS for over a year or something ridiculous. Like, as you get into this, it's a very complicated thing to do, but it was just rewarding the hackers that, all right, people that are already PK hexing, they have a modified DS. That's already against terms of service right there. That's illegal, just to use PK Hex and have this. But now you're actually like stealing money. You're pirating software. You're pirating the games. And Nintendo's like, oh, hell no. This is Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is our game. And they were shutting people down, and this was what showed up. So device access to online services has been restricted by Nintendo. GG. And then a lot of people actually started posting, done, 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 done. That's what you get for being a hacker. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people out there, because 4chan's full of trolls, but also, like, people that, like, a lot of people that jumped on this were really new. That they didn't understand hacking, or that they hadn't gotten too much into it. So they got really overzealous, like, yeah, I just want to play Pokemon Sun and Moon, ignoring how illegal this is. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to go Wonder Trade. And then that's how you get caught. Or do some Wi-Fi battles. You know, it's like, oh, go try to random battle someone else that happens to be out there. Actually, I don't even know if the Wi-Fi battling system was up. But I heard that Wonder Trade was up, so people were Wonder Trading hacked Pokemon stuff and then getting absolutely wrecked right now. Then people are so, y'all stupid, you know, like, y'all stupid for actually trying to connect to everyone who went online, yeah. So there's, like, a lot of the veterans of hacking and a lot of veterans of piracy, they've seemed to not be affected too much, which is unfortunate. But I'd like to see this go a little further. You know, the second that any of these modified consoles make it onto Wi-Fi at all, even if it's an accident or even if it's while the game is still available, maybe Nintendo will have some measures to like permanently ban these people. But yeah, your DS is toast right here, and we did get an official statement from Nintendo as a result of a number of 3DS users using unauthorized versions of several games and connecting to the official game server in violations of our terms of service. These users' 3DS systems that stored the unauthorized game code have been banned, effective immediately. So it's showing that this was a big enough problem. It's not like, just a couple people had the game and a couple people might have been going online. I don't know how many, but I'm scared to think about. Like, the files were thrown around so much. There's so many people that already cheat in Pokemon that could have just simply just like swapped out a file or something, and then they're playing Pokemon Sun and Moon. So I'd like to think it's thousands, and then Nintendo's like, oh hell no, you guys are done. You guys are done. So maybe it'd go into Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'd also like to think that maybe some other YouTubers or people that like pirated this, like, if you lose a DS with a capture card on it, you can't Wi-Fi anymore. We're gonna see if there's any popular PokeTubers out there that did this, went online, got a little full of themselves, and now they won't be able to do Wi-Fi battles from their current capture card setup. That'd be really interesting to see right there. And also, we are still getting some new stuff coming through with the games as people go and beat it and discover the post-game and whatnot. There is an IV interface now, so the judge, guy that evaluates your Pokemon, says, this Pokemon's potential is really something. Well, apparently there's actually an interface for it, and you could see like which Pokemon has what stats max, and if it's decent, good, bad, or best. So that's actually pretty nice right there, having it at least viewable like that. Now, I'm trying to like figure it out, because I guess it's a little more specific, because if you had decent overall potential or something like that, or really bad stats, you'd have to kind of guesstimate what it is, and then this just kind of shows your max ones, which are the ones that you're looking for. So for IV, grubbin right there, and I guess that this has to be post-game. It generally has been throughout the other games. Like, the Battle Resort has it, like the Battle Tower going all the way back to Diamond and Pearl, I believe. That's where you could get it, so this is more of a late game thing, which is why people are now discovering it. But the IV interface, that's pretty nice right now. So instead of like having to think about it, you just look. And also, I wonder if like this, you could modify that right there. Like, I would love that if you could actually just like, you know, hit the stars and hit the little symbols to identify what IVs your Pokemon are going to have. As for some other things going on, Junichi Masuda posting some craziness right here. Thank you very much. Thanks. Pokemon Sun and Moon first shipments exceeded 10 million copies. Pokemon Sun and Moon has sold 10 million copies before the game even came out. Like, that's first shipment. So I guess that's throughout the world. That's all the people that pre-ordered the game and stuff, is up to 10 million. And it's going to be like worldwide day one release. There's also, like, this is just online orders. This is just like stuff like that. Now I'm wondering, first shipments, so in the world, I wonder if that actually accounts for like stores and stuff. You know, a lot of people that are doing like midnight releases and game store buys and stuff, even the day after. Even we're in holiday season, so some people, you know, they might even have their parents right now say, you gotta wait until Christmas, or maybe an early gift at some point. So this is a really interesting time because not everyone's going to get access to the game. Europe is still a little later, so maybe like Europe doesn't even count for some of these earlier first shipments or something. And then we're going to see what the total actually becomes. So I'm really interested in seeing that. Like 10 million, that's already really close to all of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and all of X and Y. Because Sun and Moon has so much hype. We had Pokemon Go kind of building this up, bringing people back into it. I would like to think that until the most recent one, I think the Pokemon Sun and Moon demo data mine kind of helped out, that was like a really big boost in publicity. But now a lot of people have been really upset by getting like spoiled and stuff off the most recent one, so that probably didn't help it as much. But overall, like the entire cycle of Pokemon Sun and Moon has been very good. So it seems like that is going to reflect. I'd like to know how many copies and how many units are sold at close on the end of the year. I would love to see 20 million. Like, we see 20 million of a Pokemon game sold throughout the world. That would be mind-blowing, and it's showing that Pokemon is back, guys. So then, Junichi Masuda, you can scroll through his Twitter and have a lot of fun. Sun and Moon is finally tomorrow, can't wait. Painted signs in the workplace is an exciting appeal, dude. I love it. Whenever you go out, I think this was really big with Pokemon Go as well. You can see like Starbucks or coffee shops or bars and stuff. It's like, oh, you get 10% off of your Team Valor, or hey, come over here because we're a Pokestop. So people are really trying to sell up with that Pokemon pride right there. I love it. That was like one of the best things about Pokemon Go. Everyone was playing Pokemon. Everyone was engaging with Pokemon. You could talk to anyone and still feel the love. And I think it's going to be that way for Pokemon Sun and Moon right there. So awesome art right here on these starters. Yes, I would go in there any day, and I would maybe even spend a little more money, or at least give an awesome tip to the guy who did it. And then Junichi Masuda just kind of posting a lot of really awesome Pokemon stuff. Ooh, that looks custom right there. What do we have? View translation. I gotta check this one out. Thank you for your good work. Recently, Null was evolved till Silvally. AR system, freezing type, waiting for fun games. Ooh, nice. So this guy, oh man, that's like custom. And then the guy put in LEDs for the ice type. That is pretty awesome. I wonder how like the official merchandise is going to be for these guys. That is a nice looking Silvally figure for sure. Then also I wanted to go and show some Pokemon Sun and Moon reviews. So here we have IGN scoring Pokemon Sun and Moon with a 9.0 as amazing. Switches up the formula to create an engaging adventure that improves on its predecessors. So that's some pretty good stuff right there. And yes, same person that gave 7.8 out of 10, too much water for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I think that, like, I've already kind of complained about this, and this has made its way throughout the entire community many times over. But overall, with the 7.8 out of 10 review, it just seems like you get this a lot with people that aren't, like, super into Pokemon being very repetitive. I think we kind of saw this with, like, the original Ruby Sapphire, Diamond Pearl, that more and more game reviewers are like, well, just kind of the same old thing when it comes to Pokemon, so the scores kind of drop. And I think like Pokemon just has those waves that'll be like, yeah, this Pokemon game didn't impress me, and then the next one, it's either just because the person was more wanting to play Pokemon, or just something like that, it comes back in a bigger way, and then Pokemon gets a crazy score once again. So too much water to, well, there's actually not a lot of water in when it comes to Pokemon Sun and Moon, that there's small little surfing areas. HMs have been taken away, so they're not as big of a feature of the game, and it just comes out as amazing. So that's also why I want to do from Joe Merrick right here. Joe Merrick flooded Twitter with a ton of posts as to how well the game scored, and it seems like 9.5 is where Pokemon Sun and Moon is resting. Right here, Nintendo Life, Game Explain, and Nintendo Insider, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, loved it. 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 for Game Informer, Nintendo World Report, and Pocket Gamer. So still, like, doesn't really seem like there's anything below an 8. Digital Spy giving it a 5 out of 5, so effectively 10 out of 10. In Progress, Essential Gameplay right here, 9 out of 10 on IGN, Metro UK, 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10, and then like a lot of, I think Famitsu gave it like a 47 or a 48 or something. If I scroll down, I'd probably be able to find, yeah, here we go. Famitsu, 38 out of 40. So yeah, they graded out of 40, so that's almost a perfect score right there for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So it seems like people are loving it. There's been a lot of press going out about this. And then also there's a little bit of an update. Pokemon Centers have changed their icons to match into the 7th generation. So we got a Alolan Vulpix right here, some Popplio. So the starters just kind of switching out over there. For Kyoto, though, it's still looking the same. Same for Skytree and then the Mega 1 in Mega Tokyo. So then we got some adorable 7th generation marketing right there. That is pretty awesome. I don't really know what else there is to say right now. I think this is like the last news update for a while. It's been a crazy ride with so many leaks, so many other things. I don't even know why I have to do like a closing statement. I'm just wondering like how it's going to be, you know, then get ready for April, May. Maybe we'll hear about the new Pokemon game. I'm feeling like Pokemon Sun and Moon had enough to where we might be 2 years without another game, which would be absolutely crazy if there's like 2-year gaps back to back. But it's also looking like there is some build up into a new Pokemon game as well. There's no move tutors. There seems to be a couple of empty plot points and a couple of empty areas in the game where it's like, yeah, let's see what happens for the next one. Who knows if it's going to be a 4th generation remake or not, but everything is still looking pretty solid when it comes to Pokemon Sun and Moon and the future. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.